you are encouraging farmers to continue growing mushrooms. This is an era of food insecurity, and we are saying if our farmers also get alternative ways of growing other crops, we call them emerging crops, then they can grow the mushroom. The mushroom does not take does not require much space. It requires small spaces, and you can keep growing mushrooms throughout the year round. It's not like maize where you grow once or twice in a year. Every 3 or 4 months, you can have a new crop of mushroom. And again, mushroom is very nutritious, very high in protein. And you know, our protein, this animal protein, is very expensive. For many people cannot afford to buy the protein. Mushrooms also have medicinal values, and we have managed to dry the mushroom and grind it into powder, and we now use it like in porridge, in soup, and we will be using it in other food products, which means that these mushrooms can give you so much, and after you dry it, you can use it throughout the year round to enrich any food. So, and that's why we are encouraging farmers to grow mushroom. The support we are giving is to give them the technology of growing mushrooms. You know, mushrooms for a long time we were growing in plastic bags, and they have said we should not be using much plastic because of destroying the environment. So we have now introduced new ways of growing the mushroom. We can use the regular baskets that we weave in our villages, or we use like a dustbin. You know, these dustbins that have holes, these plastic containers, they can grow mushrooms in them. So we want to introduce new ways of growing mushrooms. At the same time, we are also introducing the fact that most of the agricultural waste, we can convert them into a substrate for growing the mushroom. So you don't throw away when you pick the maize cobs, the maize stalk, all of that can be used to make substrate for growing the mushroom. And sugar bagasse, which is always thrown out, it can be used. If you enrich it with molasses and other minerals, it can be used to grow mushroom. So there is a lot of waste that we waste out there, but it can be used for growing mushrooms. So that's what we share with the farmers. We have farmers who actually develop the spawn. We don't have a lab here in the university yet. Yeah. So what we do, we ask the farmers who are able to come up with a mixture of the mushroom seed to make spawn for others. Yeah, the only university I know that makes spawn is KKU Arts. And they make spawn, and many people have gone to KKU Arts to get the spawn. But we now have the porridge. This is one of the packets. We have porridge which we call Mmustmug. We have done sufficient research here in the university, and we know it's a very successful and rich porridge flour. And we want to encourage more people to use it. Produced here in Mus, we have a unit in Muliro. You know, we go across the river here, where we do all the grinding and mixing and packaging. Yeah, and soon we hope it will be in the market. Yes. Yeah. We have not succeeded in building partnerships outside, besides the partnerships we have with the communities, the people in the communities. We have not gone beyond. I think our shortcoming has been funding. We don't have sufficient funding. We try to introduce even to the counties, and they are telling us, you know, mushroom has not been recognized as one of the major crops. So, ukisema sukari, tea, you know, coffee, people understand. When you say mushroom, they will even ask you, do we really grow mushrooms? We thought we go to Kakamega forest and collect the mushrooms. So we have that concept which we still have to pass on and educate people that mushroom can be grown just the way we grow vegetables. You can also grow mushroom.
oyster mushrooms, something that actually, after doing some research, I was told is the best because it has got two advantages. If you have market, you can sell it as dry. If you don't have market, you can still dry it and sell it to your clients. And one advantage with the oyster mushroom is that whether fresh or dry, it doesn't lose its taste. Unlike other mushrooms that when you dry, they tend to taste differently. But with the oyster mushrooms, in fact, if you dry it, it becomes more sweet. And when you dry it, even if you don't have, even if you, no matter how long you're going to keep it, you can still make more other byproducts from oyster mushrooms. Yeah, if for example, the dry mushrooms, we used to sell it. We've been selling it to a few guys in town. University is also doing some byproducts like making of flour, porridge flour, making of flour, wheat flour mixed with other things to make pancakes, to make chapatis, and a lot of things. And also at home, you can also dry it and mix it with the sorghum, mix it with the dried cassava, mix it with the dried ground nuts, then take it to a milling machine, and you'll end up with a good enriched flour that is very nutritious. The best raw material that we use is sugar bagasse, but with the sugar bagasse, you find that with the company which is just close to us, you find that they decided to use it for a different thing. So getting the raw material, which is a substrate for this project, oyster mushroom project, you find it tough. Another raw material that we use, or rather can be used, is wheat straw or rice straw. But you find that the cost of acquiring wheat straw from Narok, all the way from Narok, or rice straw all the way from Kirinyaga or Rift Valley place, you find that it will be very costly. And as you understand, in any project, we do it to minimize. We do it using locally available material, so that we can always minimize the cost of production. So by the time we sell it, you actually get some profit from it. Another challenge is the knowledge of producing quality spawns. Yeah, we have the knowledge, but we don't have right knowledge. But slowly we are still learning, and we are still also partnering with other people so that we can also produce some quality spawns. Because you understand, if you use quality, just like other farming, if you're using quality seeds, probably you will end up with the quality production that later on it will give you some bumper harvest, which will actually rake in more profit. So quality spawns is producing, rather availability of quality spawns is also a challenge to us, but I thank God because we are working on that. Another challenge that is facing is now when it comes to planting. If there's a little mistake, maybe you miss mixing the required ingredients, what you will face is that you will end up being hit with one disease known as molds. You'll either get green mold, or you get pink mold, or you get black mold. So if you don't do this thing in a right way, my friend, I'm telling you, you will end up losing everything. And you can imagine now, by the time you are planting, it's like you have already done 90% of the project. So if you mess up on the 10 project, you will end up losing everything, and that one will mean that you will be starting your project afresh, and you can imagine how much you've spent on that project. So it's all about quality assurance, and everything from substrate must be of high quality, not having any mold, not having any other thing that can affect its role in that